Fresh and Buds.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Fresh and Buds. I'm your host, Tommy Fresh, and you guys are all my buds. I'm joined by a bud today. His name is Russ. He's from the YouTube channel BrewTapCast's. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. I've long-time listener, first-time caller, if you want to say that. I remember I was listening to your podcast, mowing the lawn back in, I think it was like midsummer or something like that. I was like, wow, this is really cool. I haven't had like such a fun podcast to listen to about this. So I was really pumped to be on here now.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate that, man. And I love your content. I pop into your YouTube streams sometimes too. And you know, we just recorded a video actually, which will probably be out by the time this episode's out. Actually,
Yep. Yeah. No, that's definitely there. Yep. It's up there.
Yeah. So, first of all, I want to get a little bit of background on you. You know, I want to introduce the listeners to you. And yeah, I mean, let's start with your history with TCGs in general.
Yeah, sure. So I started. I got some goofy old Magic cards when I was, I don't know, very young, and it was back in like '98, I think, Ice Age, something like that, 5th edition Ice Age Stronghold. That was a time where I first picked up Magic. That was my only TCG for a very long time, that morphed from just sort of like, you know, whatever you play in the kitchen table to going to booster drafts, Friday Night Magic. At that time, I don't even think it was called Friday Night Magic. I don't even know what it was called then. Morphed into, I did a little bit of that whole sort of standard grind of like, which I guess now it's modern, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Then I took a break, kind of away from TCGs, going to college, all that kind of stuff. Came back to Magic a couple of years ago, heavily into Commander, and then just sort of like building thematic decks, even if it was 60 or 100 cards, whatever. And then Flesh and Blood fell into my lap in you know, August, July of last year, and I couldn't put it down, and I just kind of said, I'll see you later, Magic, and now we're here.
now were you creating content for Magic prior to Flesh and Blood?
So I was, yeah. So I started a channel with two friends of mine. I was working at a brewery in Connecticut with two friends who also, I got one of them into Magic, and one was sort of already like a little bit into him. We started doing like booster drafts at in the back after work, that sort of stuff. We had like leagues going. That was a whole bunch of fun. And then we said, hey, like, this is a lot of fun. Like, we should create some content. And we actually, the original, it was BrewTapCast. So like one of them's name was Drew, so his name was Brew. I was Tap because it fit, and then the other one was like kind of like into like music and stuff, so like he was Cast because he was like the audio portion, right? And originally it was just going to be like Commander games, like we just, you know, have this long form, goofy, totally relaxed, like have some beer and play Magic. And we got like one episode made, and it was such a fiasco. And like then after that, trying to like organize people, it was just like this isn't really working. One of the guys moved to a different brewery. One of the guys got out of brewing completely, and I was like, cool, this is like kind of not really working out. And then so it was just me and Brew for a while, making content on YouTube through Magic Arena or just playing like through Spell Table. And then he had a baby. Well, he didn't have a baby, his wife had the baby, but he helped.
I think it still counts.
It totally counts, yeah. And then it got into, it was like cool, a little bit solo. He was making all the graphics because he's like knew how to do that. And then I slowly learned how to do that because, again, he had a baby and I had to learn how to do that. And now it's kind of just flying solo. He's hopefully able to come back soon and start making stuff. But that's kind of where it all started, and that's where we are now. And then after like making stuff on Arena mostly, I wasn't enjoying it as much as I think I wanted to, and like the decks I wanted to play, like you can't really queue up on the ladder and try to, or anywhere in the normal play queue and actually like play those, because it was more of like a janky, goofy combo thing. And then I found Flesh and Blood, and I felt like this is something I could really make content for. Not only it's really like self-fulfilling, like I really enjoy it, but it's also maybe because the game is so new, like content that I want to do might actually make people excited because it's kind of goofy stuff, or it's like, cool, here's some budget ideas. And that's kind of where that was framed from. And then even if no one watches, I'm still having a great time making it. And that's really, for me, that's why I do this, because it's fun, and if I can help people, that's awesome.
Yeah. Now, what was the initial, I guess, point of contact for you with Flesh and Blood? What first introduced you to it?
Yeah, so I don't actually know. This is before Channel Fireball picked it up. I somehow ran into Team Covenant, and that's where I got my first boxes of it, and it was actually Crucible of War. So this is before that crazy spike happened with
Mm-hmm.
Crucible, and I don't remember where I actually saw it. I don't know if it was on Twitter. I know I actually can't remember, but it popped out of nowhere. It looked really cool. People were talking about it, and like I was like, cool. I'm kind of feeling down on Magic right now. They're pushing out so many products. Like I don't know, I've lost my like friend group, and like my LGS is just like kind of like crazy spike people, and like that's not really what I'm feeling right now. And so I was like, cool, I'm gonna take a chance on this, try these out. I got Crucible and I got Precon decks. I was like, I'm gonna go with this and see how it goes. And I got that. I played with my son and I played with some of my friends, and I was like, wow, this is really cool, and I really enjoy it. It's such a breath of fresh air, and that's kind of how it all sort of started to cascade into what it is today.
It really is, and it is. It's definitely paying off for you because your channel is doing great. Now, obviously, beer is a huge part of your channel.
Yep.
You're in the brewing industry. I'm in the brewing industry as well. We both like beer.
Hmm.
What do you do at your brewery, if you don't mind talking about it?
Yeah, no. So I'm the director of quality assurance at a brewery, and like I came in as like a lab person. This is the second brewery I worked at now. I worked the first one for I think it was 2 or 3 years. Now I've been here for 3.5 or so years. I was a lab slash quality person, and I actually ended up being the head of the cellar at the first place. Moved to my current place, and now I moved in. Sort of, it went from a lab person to brewery manager, and then to like quality master, and so that's where I am now, and I very much enjoy it. So
Now, do you see any of that quality assurance seep into your play in any way? It is a um, it's a unique position at a brewery. I can speak for the quality assurance people that I deal with. That it's a you guys have a different mindset on beer than most.
definitely, yeah. Like I hope that it doesn't leak into that, because generally, like if you're anyone else in a brewery, you don't really like to hear from the quality team, because it's generally like, oh, there's a problem, or they have bad news, or they're gonna tell you no on something, because like that's what they do. They try to keep things safe and good and exactly what they want it to be, in perpetuity if they can. So like I think the biggest thing that like resonates into the gameplay is like I like to collect it. Like I never was a huge proponent of collecting when I was Magic. Like, yeah, I want to have all the cards so I can build any deck I want, but it was like it wasn't as strong for this game. Whereas like I'd like to, even if I don't want to play Azalea or
Mm-hmm.
or some other hero, I still would like all the cards, because like I think they're beautifully designed, and then maybe someday I'll actually want to play those. So like that's where it's sort of like I guess a little bit of a completionist in that regard. I'm failing miserably. Like I don't have a lot of cards, but that would be like I guess the place where it sort of seeps in the most. Otherwise, I guess I try to execute my turns as well as possible if I'm trying to really push for like a win or something like that. I guess that can be where that sort of leaks into my gameplay.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I will say that the nice thing about Flesh and Blood currently is being a completionist collector wise is manageable compared to some other games.
Oh yeah.
Uh, you know, I like to have all the cards for any hero I'm interested in playing, and I haven't really dove too deep into the other heroes. But that being said, we don't have the alchemist slash brewer hero yet. But who
Yet.
is your go to hero?
So it's funny because I don't have a lot of synergy with my go-to hero right now. So start of the game, I picked up those three. I couldn't find the Dorinthia Welcome to Wraith precon, but I got the other three. I played through all of them, and I found myself on Bravo, and I can't get off Bravo. And it's funny because like I don't like. It's not like, oh man, this is my hero. He's like the guy I synergize with the best. If anything, it's Briar, just because like that's like the whole elemental thing is where I want to be. But I can't get off him. Like I've been trying to like build another deck, and like that's part of like my I would say it's not really a problem with this game, is like there's so much I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I just like a new card comes out, like, oh man, I want to do that, like, and I've never moved away from Briar. So I just like to pummel people and make them discard and make them not be able to block. It does feel really good, and I'm on Bravo, and I'm loving it.
Yeah. We played actually in the first round of the Ragamuffin Roundup that we have going on among creators, and you gave it to me pretty good. I will say that.
Yeah,
You're
those were
playing like
some
9 copies of Pummel. Was that what it was?
Yeah, no, it's a full on Pummel Bravo. It's definitely not meta, but it's a lot of fun to play.
Oh yeah, nothing feels better than pushing through that Pummel.
Yeah, yeah.
But that being said, what are some heroes that you haven't really explored that you want to explore?
So I know that, like, I'm not a glutton for punishment. I've always wanted to try Ranger, but I just don't think it's really worth it because I feel like most of the time what I like to get out of the game is to execute my plan. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to do the thing I want to do, and if my hero's so bad that I can't do the thing I want to do, then I'm not gonna have fun because I can't do the thing I want to do. So like, although I'd love to do that, I mean, like the Skullborn Crosscrap was the first like wow, this is an amazing card that I pulled, and I haven't played it once, and I've wanted to, and I haven't gone there. Outside of like Azalea or and I guess Lexi's probably a little bit better that we see that now.
Yeah.
It would be Kano, but I feel as though I don't have the. I guess I've been playing Bravo for so long. If I started with Kano, I'd probably be a pretty good Kano player. But I feel like the barrier to entry on Kano is a little bit higher than most other heroes. But ultimately, I would like, and then everyone hates Kano players too. I guess that's the other problem. I don't want to be like the person, the pariah that everyone like sort of beats on. But I think Kano would be a lot of fun to play, and I think there's a lot of space that we could actually explore with Wizards that I think would be kind of fun too. So, but ultimately, and as we said, it's the Brewer/Alchemist that once that happens, I think there's no going back.
Well, I think
So,
we have a good chance of that in Everfest, right? I
yep,
mean, we have to be
definitely.
hoping, but yeah, Kano. You bring up a good point about Kano. That it's a totally different play. Like it's totally different than any other hero that you could play, right? You sit down and you have to start thinking about the game in a different way that we're all used to. So, and I got the opportunity to talk to the Arcbound Geek, Pietro, who
Yoder,
won
yep.
Italian Nationals, and he had played Kano. That was the first hero he played, and that's why he was able to pilot it so well. It really takes the great amount of practice and understanding in that deck. But
Yeah, it's funny because like my first and I think my only time I ever played TTS was actually with him, and that was before that was his pre Kano days. He was actually on KO, so he was playing
oh,
these claws, and he was really excited about the deck, and I just played some random Bravo deck that I didn't know anything about, and like it was I got smashed, but that was because I was like I didn't even know how to do TTS and all that kind of stuff. But no, that's his prior to Kano days.
yeah, I guess he likes Kano and KO, right?
Yeah.
KO's a lot of fun, but also I mean,
You get screwed sometimes.
you definitely get screwed. I guess not as much as Levia though. You could really take a
Yeah.
decent amount of blood debt from Levia, but yeah. So your buddies that you started the channel with, if they were to come back at any point, obviously life willing, would they come back and do some flesh and blood stuff, or are they still on the magic grind?
I think they're still in the Magic grind.
Mm-hmm.
As little as they do now, I think I know one of them. He hasn't the one who had the kid doesn't have as much time to really
Mm-hmm.
play, and then the other one he's been sort of moving around, and I'm not sure how much time he's had to invest in it. But ultimately, I'd have trouble not trying to convince them to play it. I like you open enough boxes, you get enough bulk cards that I'm definitely able to like give some people cards to play with. Like that's not a
Mm-hmm.
problem at all. It's like cool. Like, do they want to invest in a whole nother game? I don't know. Like, I think maybe it's because I was so saturated into Magic at the time that I just got burned out, and then this was such a fun experience to start and then just take over. I think because they were sort of tempered in it and they haven't been locked in as hard as I was, maybe they're still like high on Magic. And again, I don't. You can enjoy whatever you want to enjoy, and if it's still
Exactly.
your jam, like great. And like again, Magic is always going to hold a place in my heart as like a great game. Like I'm not going to say that. It's like whatever's happening, like as far as a company, like yeah, it isn't great, but I'm sure the game could still be fun. You just got to play it the way you want to play it, and I think it's true for any game. So I think it'd be a tough sell only because they've got a card load invested already in Magic, and it's kind of hard to say, well, I'm not going to worry about this. And when we were playing, we were all very dedicated to it at that time too. So although I think I'd probably just force them to do it. Like we used to get together and play for like 13 hours, 14 hours in a single day, and then
Oh my god.
I think because we didn't have a lot of time to like
Yeah.
actually play in person, and so I think I could just like say, cool, well now we're gonna play this game because I want to play this game, and like I could see that kind of thing working out, but I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now on the Flesh and Blood side of things for your channel, what's been a highlight for you? You know, you've gotten some preview cards. That's really cool. I don't know. Is there anything that you're the most proud of with the BrewTapCast's channel in regards to Flesh and Blood?
So I don't know if there's any like particular video or anything I could say, but and I think this might be true for other creators for Flesh and Blood as well, is that I don't think I did a single sort of collaborative video in Magic when I was doing anything on YouTube or Twitch with Magic. It was just so hard to actually get people to want to do things together that I honestly can't remember if there was a time that had happened. Whereas I feel like it's such a difference for fab creators. Like everyone wants to like have fun and play together, or make lore videos, or like rules videos, or like just like chat videos or whatever. And I think that it just sort of talks about the community, that it like we want to have fun together. Like this game is fun. We both like it, so let's have fun together. And I think that alone is kind of what I like. And so I do make some solo content, like probably more solo content, because it's easier to sort of fit that into the times that I have available. But ultimately, it's really the community. And it sounds so lame, right? But like it's fun to like do things together with other people that like have the same sort of thoughts as you. And so it's I guess it's the collab videos that we've done, or they're just like playing like, cool, I'm gonna play the precon decks against each other with you because like why not? Like those are the ones I have the most fun with. And if they don't get the most views, whatever, I think like my happiest video was like one of the videos I created by myself, just to sort of like try to learn and understand the rules better. I think it was like one of the first few videos we put out. And it was like learn about Flesh and Blood from a Magic perspective. And so we went through like a lot of the rules. It was like 45 minutes long, and it's got the most views out of all my videos. It's been out for a really long time, and there's been so many positive comments. Well, for my channel, I think it's like maybe 10 comments, something like that. So many like positive comments about that video that it I guess I'm the most proud of that, because it hopefully helped to unlock some, I don't know, aspects of the game for people who came from Magic and wanted to learn this game. And hopefully it didn't like get people into the game at a time where the monetary issues were happening, because I know that's when it was sort of put out, was like pre or around the spike in prices. So hopefully it didn't detract people from getting into the game. But that's probably my most proud video that I have.
Yeah, we're also, I mean, in terms of YouTube, it is nice that people are still going to discover that video, you know?
Yep.
And right now we're in a great spot for Flesh and Blood in terms of availability and accessibility.
Yeah.
And you know, and hey, listen, it's a good video, and that's the beautiful thing about YouTube. It's going to stay there, and people are just going to continue to find it. So, one more question before we get to our Crack-a-Pack.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Might be one of the last, or no, you'll definitely have some more of the more of Tales before Everfest. Never mind.
Yeah, probably a couple more, probably 5 or so more. But I wanted to ask you now, what would you think the alchemist / brewer hero ability would be?
So I think, and I don't like, obviously when like I guess throwing Merchant and Shiana out of the window right now, because we don't really know how they play. Like they don't play in like a competitive format, and ultimately like heroes that are going to get more support are going to be ones that are meant to be played competitively. I don't know if coming from a competitive spec like thing, it's probably going to be potion item based things, whether that means, you know, like you throw a potion at your enemy and then they lose health or they lose attack or resource or something like that, and then you can like drink potions to like buff your attacks or something like that. I mean, it would be kind of cool if like the guy had like a mash paddle and he was just like whacking people with a mash paddle. That'd be kind of silly. and I I don't think that would happen, but ultimately like that could be like, I think it would be maybe an item based thing, having to do with potions, because they in the lore book they do have alchemist, they don't have brewer, but like they have all this lore and like pictures of like bartenders and beer and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like, and like their beer isn't just like any other beer; it's all like weird and magical looking. So there's got to be some guy who's making these that's a hero. So that would probably be my guess, is like some potion based thing, and then augmenter in that regard. And then if it was like a less competitive, like I could see like him like throwing out buffs to other heroes, or just causing like, I don't know, chaos, I guess, with like some of these things that he was throwing around, or making people drink or something like that. I mean, I don't want to go as far to say is poison, because I feel like that's more like an assassin thing, and I think that's one of
Yeah.
the heroes that could be there too. But
Yeah.
yeah, throwing potion at people.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Maybe you kind of throw a potion at a hero, and they get less intellect and maybe a buff on their next attack. So you got to manage that correctly. Also, it'd be cool if like maybe potion item effects trigger twice, maybe. So
Ooh,
which would be kind of neat. So
yeah.
so you get the energy potion, you get 4 resources or whatever, and then the time snap, you get some extra action points. So I think there's a lot of design space there, which would be really cool to explore. But without further ado, we're gonna crack a pack of Tales of Aria Unlimited.
I'm excited.
Have you cracked any Unlimited yet of this set?
I have a couple boxes. I still have a couple boxes to open. I haven't been as diligent about cracking them. I've been doing more like constructed focused non-limited stuff. But I have some. I gotta open them before Everfest. I just haven't got around to it. It's like this weird thing. I like to wait on it because like I don't want to run out, because I always want to have packs to open. But at the same time, like, cool, you just gotta go and do it. But
so according to someone at my LGS, it's from a new Japanese printer, and that the foiling on these are really something to behold.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Which I don't know is good or bad compared to first edition not having that, but first edition still has the cold foil. So
sure.
First out of the pack, we have Blue Shock Striker. This is the lightning attack action, 3 attack, 2 defense, costs 1, and then has that activated ability to pay 2 to do the extra 1 damage if it hits.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel
not
about
super
this?
hot in that. I'm not super hot in that card. I mean, even in decks that you're looking to have that, it's really, it's more of a pitch. So I guess the blue one would be pretty good. I don't think I've ever played the card out feeling great about it. I guess I can say that.
The red I've found to be okay.
Okay.
In more in Lexi, honestly, because it's a nice thing to flip out of your arsenal. But the blue, I mean, if you need some blues, I guess it fills a role. But I would nowhere near first pick that. Next, we have the yellow Icing counter, 5 attack, 2 defense. On hit, create a frostbite.
I like that card. I mean, it's a nice break point. Though, like, yeah, I guess in this set there's a lot of 2 blocks anyways. But like, if someone gets stuck with like only 2 blocks in their hands, like 3 cards to not get a frostbite's pretty nice. So I could dig that.
Yeah, I've enjoyed this card quite a bit as well. Both in Lexi and Oldham. Usually, I like the red. Obviously, we'd prefer the red, but the yellow's been fine. And in Oldham, I find myself just playing every playable card.
100%. You need to have that because you want to go a little bit long most of the time, and that's definitely play them all, especially in the mirror too. You just like need it.
Yeah, exactly. So next we have a card that I've never played, and I don't think I've seen played against me, is the yellow Rejuvenate.
This is actually, I have words about this because I think it was last week's episode, like it was a red Rejuvenate that got pulled, and I actually am okay with this card. I mean, I don't love it. It's not like I'm gonna first pick it like by any means, but I do think that Rejuvenate does have a place in matchups against Briar.
That's fair.
That's fair. I don't think the mirror, like the Briar mirror, but like if you're Oldham, you're Lexi, I think this can actually have a place, because sometimes that those couple points of life, and obviously the blue one's garbage, like no one's gonna play that, right? Yellow, 2 life, that's the arcane off of a Rosetta Thorn, so like there's something there. And then 3, like that's like literally I can take another Rosetta Thorn hit without any worry about like getting hurt from the arcane and not have it be a problem. So I do think that it is matchup dependent, but I do think there actually is playability there. Have I played it? Yes, I've played. I think I've actually like played the card twice. Once it was an instant, so it wasn't as painful. But if that's all you're doing in your turn, yeah, that's a no go, no fly zone. But if you can get it consistently as an instant, I think it's a somewhat playable card. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the hot take, but I'm okay with that card.
No, you bring up good points. I don't know if I'd go yellow or blue in the Briar matchup, but I definitely can see the red one
Yeah.
Doing some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Next we have Break Ground. This is a card I actually do like. This is the yellow one. 6 attack, 2 defense, 3 cost. It's Earth. When you attack with it, you may put a card from your arsenal on the bottom of your deck if you do draw a card.
Yeah, I think it's playable. I like it in Oldham. It's if you get stuck with something in your arsenal that just isn't sitting well, and you need that, like you want to switch out, like say you got like a Glacial Footsteps in hand, you want to arsenal that to like have a big turn. Like it's a nice way to sort of like move something out and then make way for maybe a bigger or better 5-card hand. So I could dig it.
Absolutely, I do. It's not my favorite, but it is definitely something I'm okay playing.
Sure, yeah.
Next is Burgeoning, the yellow one. We get a lot of yellows. Play from Arsenal gets +1. Base attack is 5 on the yellow.
Yeah, again, it's I think the yellow one I don't like, although it allows you to, like, if you're playing Oldham, to combo pitch for the defense reaction and get both ice and earth if you wanted to go that way to gain or gains protection and make them plop a card on their deck. So I don't think I love it, and I think it's definitely not a first pick, but it's made its way into decks I've played.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean I'll play it. Prefer the red there, or the 100%. Blue in Oldham.
Yep.
But we do have our first rare. It is an Elemental Runeblade attack action. It is Explosive Growth. The 1 costs 3 attack, 3 defense, Earth Fusion. If it was fused, whenever it deals damage, attacks you control gain +1 this combat chain, and then it has the attack trigger when 1 arcane damage or deal 1 arcane damage to target hero.
I definitely not a first pick for me. Maybe I'm not big brained enough to like really make this work in limited, but like I've never seen a spot where this card would be good. I just like, maybe I don't have the cards for it. Maybe I didn't draft the right deck. I don't like it. It's not feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you can really go wide, I guess. Which is weird because it's on the Earth Fusion side. It's a little bit tougher to go wide with Briar on the Earth side. Usually, if you can fuse it, it's going to come in for 4, but you have to be able to fuse it. Not super high on it either. We do.
I guess I could see.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I could see coming into a turn when you have a lightning, an embodiment of lightning. So like your first deck gets go again, you can throw this out, and then you have a whole chain of things that might have go again. Then it would make more sense. But otherwise, it's like it's got to be early on the chain, and then to really have a full effect. So it's like that's where my trouble is, because again, as you said, it's an Earth card, so you're not going to have a lot of go again, but it wants a lot of go again. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm not on it right out the gates. I think if I'm already in Briar, I'll take it. I think it's fine. Little arcane damage for free off the card is not the worst.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I
get that
there.
embodiment token. Next, we do have a Majestic.
Nice.
Blossoming Spellblade. This one has a lot of text. It is a 2 cost, is 6 attack, 3 defense. It has Earth and Lightning Fusion. If it was fused, so you need to fuse with both. Whenever this deals damage to an opposing hero, you may banish a non-attack action card from your graveyard. If you do, you may play it this turn as though it were an instant, and it would be put into your graveyard. Or if it would be put into your graveyard, banish it instead. And when you attack with the Spellblade, if it was fused, deal 1 arcane damage to target hero.
I think I'd probably pick this card. It is a difficult card to fuse with Briar in particular, because I don't feel, although Oldham, I think you can split between his elements a little bit better, and I don't play enough Lexi to really feel as though I can, but I want to say you can't really do that with Lexi. Briar, you can't really do it either. I feel like you got to commit either way. So like to wait and then to have the ability to actually double like or fuse it like entirely, like because it's not and, or it's not or, it's and, like it just it's risky, but if you can get it off, it's pretty nice. So I'd probably end up picking it, and maybe if I can swing like throwing it in the arsenal and making it work, I'd go for it.
It's a pretty looking card.
It is.
Our foil is a Dazzling Crescendo, red, 0 cost, 4 attack, 3 defense, arrow attack. Has Lightning Fusion. If it was fused, gains go again.
I can dig it. I mean, as long as you're able to like capitalize on the go again, I think it's a great card. Again, I don't have as much experience with Lexi, so I'm not entirely sure how great it is, but I mean, it seems playable.
Yeah, actually, I think this one in particular, the red is quite playable in Lexi. And I would almost, I mean, I don't know if I'm picking it over Blossoming Spellblade, but I do think it's a good place to start for Lexi. Like
Sure.
when you kind of move into her during a draft, zero cost at 4 attack, with possible go again is pretty good.
Yeah. No, I can dig it.
We have an equipment, deep blue.
I do like me a deep blue. That's
Oh yeah.
I mean, you need resources, you got a nice jacket for it. So I think like honestly, I always like draft equipment very high anyways. And
Mm-hmm.
this one, like particularly if I'm playing Oldham, it really helps to cut down your like worry if you're like I don't have a lot of blues. Like it takes the place for at least one blue card in your deck. So I actually really dig that. And I think right now in this pack it's either Spellblade or Deep Blue.
Yeah, I actually think I'm on deep blue as well right now because I think it's pretty premium in this
Yep,
set. Um,
definitely.
and you never know. I've seen cards like blossoming Spellblade table, which is a little crazy, but
Very
yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yes.
Now we're into the class cards. We got Snow Under. This is the blue one. 5 attack, 3 defense. If it was fused with ice, it gains the on-hit frostbite.
So I think this is where we deviate. So I know, like on previous ones, you've gotten these and you haven't really liked them. I actually like this Oldham pretty well. Not obviously the blue one's not best, but it's still good. I mean, you're gonna have that to feed your deck, but also like it is still a 5 attack. Like that's gonna be 2 cards if they don't want a frostbite. So I'm actually pretty high on Snow Under as a whole, at least for the red and the blue one.
Yeah, I'm not as low as I was on it. To be honest, I actually really like the blue one just because it guarantees the coming in for 4 with
Yep.
your hammer,
Hmm.
which is nice. And then obviously when you're most likely going to see it again if you're pitching it in
Yeah.
in Oldham. It's not a bad card to come in with.
Yeah. Good finisher. I find
Definitely.
like late game, like pitch early late game thing.
Next we have Blizzard Bolt. This is the one costed 4 attack, 3 defenses, yellow. Ice fusion. If it was fused, whenever attack deals damage to a hero this turn, create a frostbite.
Yeah, I think this is very nice if you have like a nice turn like planned and you can like chain in a bunch of attacks. I think it's really great.
Mm-hmm.
And it can shut down your opponent for their turn. It's just like I think it does take a lot to really fully have it be awesome. But otherwise, no, I think it's a nice card.
Something I like with this card is flipping a lightning in her arsenal, coming in with
Mm,
this, giving it go again, and hopefully chaining some big stuff.
yeah.
If anything, it's going to make them block out, and they're not going to have a turn next turn anyway.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
next we got Arcanic Shockwave. This is a 0 cost. This is the yellow one. 0 cost, 3 attack, 3 defense. Lightning Fusion. If it was fused, deal 1 arcane damage to target hero.
No, I mean it's a nice way to have arcane. Maybe this is the last thing on your chain if you can't get Rosetta Thorn online, or maybe you have something getting go again from like a non-attack. Then it's like a nice way to have that like non-attack, attack, and then Rosetta. So I can dig it. I think it's a nice staple for the electric or sorry the lightning briar deck in limited.
Definitely. And next we got the red Mulch. This is a big boy. 8 attack, 3 defense, Earth Fuse. It puts the arsenal on the bottom on hit.
I haven't really found it to be awesome. Like on paper, it looks great. It's a big heavy hitter and it can mess up people's arsenal. Maybe it's because people are arsenaling less in this format because they want to have things in their hands for fusing. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's when I've found like, oh yeah, I'm trying to swing in and smash this guy's arsenal. Well, there's nothing there, and like that's really a shame when you have that ready, you can fuse it, and you still can't get anything out of arsenal because there's nothing there.
Definitely, definitely. However, I will say this: I have enjoyed Mulch. If I mean to be honest, anything that blocks for 3 in Oldham is good.
That's true.
And and at the end of the game, if you have a nice 8 attack, even if you don't fuse it, it's a tough it's a tough thing to block. So
Definitely.
definitely nowhere near first pick. I almost prefer the blue because you can pitch it to your hammer.
Yep.
But yeah, we have a blue Overflex is the 1 cost Ranger action. My next arrow attack, gains +2, has a reload, and go again.
I think the blue one's probably really not where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it can be good, but not the blue one. I'll pass on the blue one.
Yeah. You might want to pick that up later. Something good to, a good blue pitch to set up your bigger turns, but definitely not a priority. And then we have a blue Stir the Wildwood. This is the Earth Fusion, costs 2, 3 attack, 3 defense. If you've dealt arcane damage to an opposing hero this turn, it gains +2, and if it's fused, it gains +2.
Yeah, I like the whole cycle of this. Obviously, the blues aren't great, and in Briar, you're not super resource hungry. But like for going big on Earth, like these cards are like premium, and I think I would still be pulling the blue happily if it was coming around to me in draft. Definitely not a first pick, but it can be a very powerful card.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not on it high, the blue one, but definitely if I'm in Briar already, more than happy to pick up any one of them from the cycle. Yep. So yeah, that's the Crack-a-Pack. I think we're on deep blue, me and you. Yeah,
agreed.
But I think Spellblade next after that, and which is a little sad because that means I can't really force Oldham.
That's true. Yeah,
but it is what it is. We're gonna get to just a little. I mean, we had some news come out this week, and we did talk about it on your video, which will be out. But I figured we'd talk about the podcast too. We got the Armory kit for January, or at least we saw what it's going to be. And in that was Spoiled Valda, which is a new, young Guardian hero. 21 health, 4 intellect. And then if an opponent draws a card, let me get the actual wording here up, actually, before I just start making up stuff.
I got it right in front of me if you want me to read it.
Oh, no, I got it. Whenever an opponent draws a card during an action phase, create a Seismic Surge token for each card drawn this way. At the start of your turn, if you control 3 or more Seismic Surge tokens, cards you own with Crush gain Dominate. So what are your initial thoughts on this?
So I think that's awesome. I think it's got great matchups. I think it's got not great matchups. I think it's funny, the 21 health, and I think that's maybe why they put that there, because it's something that it is a little bit swingy. So maybe if you hit a bad matchup, well, at least you got 1 extra life. What this tells, because it's untalented and there's no way to get like a lot of Seismic Surge tokens, because maybe you got Tectonic Plating and that's kind of it. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's going to be some on-hit effects for Guardian in this set that's going to allow you to get some Seismic Surge tokens, like from on-hit, whether it be a Crush or just anything on-hit to give you some tokens. Because I think that would make this card a lot better in any matchup, because then you can actually whack in to get that Dominate on a stick sort of thing with her. So
yeah, she's definitely exciting, and this is a point I brought up in your video, but it's LSS saying, hey, we don't love Runeblade that much. We're gonna crap on them a little bit, with all the extra card draw, so I'm excited to see how this plays out in the Blitz format. Obviously, I don't think we're getting an old version of Valda right away, but it is exciting. I mean, first of all, she looks totally badass in the art. This buff woman here, and she's from Cranial Crush art. Am I getting that right?
Yes, it's the Cranial Crush. She's like smushing someone's head together. Yeah, that's 6 cost blue card. Yep. Which
is really cool. Which also, it's proof that we're gonna get heroes from other art too, which is exciting to think about. I wonder who's next after Valda, but I wouldn't mind seeing the guy from Command and Conquer, some kind of warlord hero would be pretty sweet. But we also got the promo, like the promo for every week, is Life of the Party. This is a new card that will be in Everfest, assumedly, but it is at least the red is 2 cost, 4 attack, 2 defense. You may discard or destroy a card you control named Crazy Brew rather than pay Life of the Party resource cost. If you do, choose all modes. Otherwise, choose 1 at random. So this one's got to be exciting for you because we're dealing with Crazy Brew.
I do like that. Yeah, there was a time where I put Crazy Brew, like at least one copy of Crazy Brew in every deck I made, and eventually I realized that no one cared, and it didn't really work all that well because like cool, what do I do for my turn? I play a potion and pass, and the potion might not actually benefit me really when I go to like crack it. So like I do like this. It does give you a little bit more to do with it. I do like also that you can discard. You don't have to have it in the arena to get that effect because then it's not like, well, I didn't have to take a turn off, and I can either gain 2 life, or I guess if you're doing that, you're gaining 2 life on hit, and you're pumping it, and it gets go again. Like, and that all together for 2 resources or free, just discard a card. I think that's actually pretty powerful. 6 power on hit, gain 2, and go again. I love it. I could dig that.
Yeah. I guess a good way to look at it is not necessarily free. It's almost like, well, instead of 2 resources, you're paying 3 with the Crazy Brew. Or if it's already out, that's even better. You can just pop it.
Yeah.
I wonder what the rarity. This has to be a common, based on the. Is this going to be a common? You think in EVR?
I think it could. It's either common or rare, obviously, because we have the cycle. In different colors. My guess is that it is probably a common because it isn't like, oh my goodness, like it's not. I wouldn't even think it's a rare. I mean, I guess because it's got a lot of like complexity there, it could be a rare, but ultimately probably a common. I because this isn't a draft set, it doesn't really. It almost doesn't even matter what the rarity is. But yeah, no, it looks like a common, I guess, because it's not like it doesn't like blow power level out of the wall or anything like that. So.
Yeah, so you said draft. Now, in the artwork that they released, it says designed for booster draft. Now, we had talked, is that an oversight, or is that, some kind of, or is this somehow going to be a draftable deck or a draftable set?
Yeah, I think because unless they're going to change how they do the draft, because it is still at 10 cards or whatever. It's not the full packs. You're going to end up with a lot less cards per. Well, I guess not a lot less. It'll be 9 cards less, which is a considerable amount of cards. So that's why I feel like it might be an oversight rather than an actual way to draft it. Although if you can draft something like this, that'd be great. But I think they are calling it a supplementary set, so that's where I'm leaning towards, like the this is a oopsie oversight sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm obviously hoping that it's draftable because it's my favorite format. But if it's not, I mean, obviously that makes sense too. I wonder how they could even make it draftable. I imagine, I mean, unless it's really pumped up with generics. I mean, everything other than Valda we've seen, obviously it's only been 2 cards, but has been generic. So
yeah, but like. They're saying it's support for every. I think it was every hero, not only every class, but every hero. Then like it'll be tough to make a set that has that and still be draftable and not a total like crapshoot when you're trying to like build a deck.
Exactly. Though it would be cool if they can come up with a way for you to do it. So we will see where that kind of falls, or even what if they say, oh, we'll just give everybody a Shiana and you can just and draft it that way, but. We will see. Now, the next big thing about the poster that they released is we got Bravo, star of the show, on the playmat and the poster. Now, is this a new version of Bravo? Is it an alt art version of Bravo? What do you think?
So I am very excited for this if it is a new version, because I do like that they're going to do that, because what I love that you can have new heroes all the time, right? But at the same time, like I've played Bravo for a long time. I wouldn't mind another option of a kind of Bravo, because literally I should just be able to like slap a new version of Bravo onto my deck. Like obviously it's not match because you can't, like, that's not part of your sideboard, right? But I think it'd be really cool to have the ability to have that. And again, if we look back at the Armory kits in the past, they've all been cards. But the literal name of this is Bravo, star of the show. So I am leaning towards, although it's a little early in LSS's like in Flesh and Blood's like history to go and like revamp heroes. I still think it could be that. And also think about it this way, and it just came to me now. They were made at a time where there were no talents, so maybe this is way to reinvigorate heroes that didn't have talents back in the first couple sets, and now cool, this is a world of talented heroes. Let's either give Bravo a talent, or let's juice him up a little bit or change him a little bit so he's a little bit more viable. I mean, he's still pretty viable now, so maybe
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not it.
What kind of talent could they thematically introduce in Everfest, do you think?
I
Like,
mean, like the flow, but like we kind of like I speculated about that like prior to Tales coming out, and I don't really know. Like it is all about the elements. Like it's almost like you're chosen like that. Maybe he's got like a force of his will or something like that. Like because he is like the star of the show, he's like this big, huge, awesome, strong man. Maybe he's got like a way to woo people. So he's got like I don't know what they would call it, but like he's got
charisma, maybe? Who
I
knows?
sure. I mean, that's a odd talent, but like
Yeah.
I could know that like that's exactly it though. Like his presence like actually causes an effect on you. So that's where I would go if he had a talent.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I'm definitely pulling for him to be a new printing, and I was actually hoping to see this soon. In the way we see with Planeswalkers and Magic, that you can kind of give people different versions of these characters that we fall in love with.
Yeah.
And it's a great way for even our poor Azalea, which I know a lot of our buddies out there really love, but is not entirely viable. Give her a new version would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting design space to explore. So we'll see. That's all we have from Everfest so far. I know that you have a preview card, right, coming up next month.
Yes.
Are you
Yes.
excited for
It's
that?
I am hyper excited about that. I had one in Tails, and I was super thankful for that. I am surprised that they gave me another one, but I guess hey, I'm super happy about it. I think I made a really awesome video, and I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I enjoyed the whole making process, and I think it came out really well. So I'm pretty pumped about it. It is on the 26th, so like that's the Wednesday. I think the Monday starts the this is of January. The
Yep.
Monday 24th starts it. So this is the third day, 26th. I don't know exactly when it's dropping. We haven't seen all that, but probably it'll be sometime that I'm like off of work and I can like actually be here to like do a live sort of thing. So
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I know that
I'm-
your Tales of Aria video actually got a lot of hits, so I had to imagine that played into it, right?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, and again, I didn't just push out like, oh, here's the card. Thanks. Okay, bye. Like
Yeah.
it was like I put music in the background. I tried to like spin a story with the art that we had from Monarch to like bring into something that maybe like it was really more of a Monarch video because like it was like about like the doom and gloom. But if you look at Bolt and Shot, which is the card, like it does not look like it really fits in Tales. It's definitely more of like a war torn sort of card. Like there's like demon stuff flying in the sky. There's like fire everywhere. Like that's where like I sort of like just went off the art because that's all I had from the set.
True.
But no, I'm very excited, and I'm still like again haven't received anything material wise from them. I'm really hoping it's some sort of like brewer or something like that related thing. So like fingers crossed that happens. That'll be super cool.
Well, I know we'll all be looking and hoping that it is as well. It's going to be pretty exciting when those spoilers start starting in the end of January. Now, speaking of brewer, let's talk some beer real briefly because we both are into beer.
Definitely.
What? All right. So I want you to put a hero with different kinds of or different styles of beer. So let's start with the most popular style of beer, at least in craft beer anyway, is IPA. Who is the IPA of Flesh and Blood?
I mean, right now, like all the craze, like I guess IPAs are kind of off the craze that they had. I mean, they're still very popular.
Yeah.
But like right now, what's the craze? Well, it's Briar. So I mean, like Briar's like and it's got like bite, like a lot of hop bitterness. Might give you like some like thorny feel. So I'm gonna go with Briar is our IPA right now.
Now, if Briar's our IPA, would Chain be our New England style IPA? A little less bitterness. These days since Seeds of Agony was banned. I mean, but still very popular, very potent.
Very popular, yeah. Like most people, like I don't know how you feel about New England IPAs. From coming like from the internal like production, I hate milkshake IPAs like New England IPAs because there's just like I feel as though like from a QA perspective, well they didn't you didn't finish the beer, like it's not done yet, like it's still so hazy, like you missed a part of your whole process. So and I know a lot of people like didn't like chain, so like yeah, I think that that fits really well.
Yeah.
Polarizes people.
I agree with you. I'm not huge on New England styles, but you know what? They sell, so people are
They
still
sure
gonna,
do.
yeah, you know, that's the chain thing, right? It's still gonna win, you know.
Yeah.
So we just have to deal with it. Who's our stout? Who's our like big bold stout hero?
I mean, I gotta put Bravo on this, Bravo or Oldham, just because like
Yeah.
this is like your although like it's like contrary to popular belief, like just because it's dark doesn't mean it's like high calorie or full, but you can make a really nice body on a stout really easily, and I think like that's your it can feel like a bigger beer in that regard, and there's also like Russian Imperial stouts which are way high ABV and calories and stuff like that, so I'm gonna go with a Bravo's a stout or a porter kind of guy.
Definitely, and I could see it for Oldham as well. Though I think I'd like to give him some kind of like a wee heavy kind of
Yeah.
He's got like that real European
Sure.
vibe going on, like wee heavies or like a German Doppelbock or something like that.
I can see that, yeah.
But an offshoot of another dark beer. Now, who's our Pilsner? I'm a big Pilsner guy. I'm a huge like lagers. It's weird. Things have come full circle for me in terms of my beer palate. You start with the lighter stuff, and then you experiment, and then you come right back to the Pilsners. So,
Yeah, no, Czech Pils is my go-to. A nice Czech
yeah.
Pils. So who's the Pilsner? I don't know. I mean, I wonder is Bolton the kind of guy who wants a Pilsner after he like stops cutting up people with his sabers or whatever he's using these days, hatchets? I don't know. Like I never really thought about that.
I think
Huh.
I think either of the light heroes, so Prism or Bolton, though.
Okay.
I would also say maybe Lexi, right? Because Lexi's kind of the underdog, but still comes in and wins every once in a while, you know? But
Yeah, I can see that. Like Pilsners might look like they don't have a lot going on, but then when you taste them, you actually, wow, yeah, that's actually complex and smooth and delicious, and it can have a lot of character. So
yeah, I could also
Sure.
make an argument for Katsu because it's Old Faithful, right? You
Yep.
know what you're getting back into, and it's going to be dependable in a way. So
Yeah, true, very true.
who's our amber ale? The
our
old
amber?
school, like my dad drinks it and we can't sell it to save our lives beer.
Maybe a Kasai, because she's like the I don't give a crap about you. I'm just gonna go on my way, and whoever's paying the most money is where I'm going. So maybe that's who gets the amber.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the poor ambers and brown ales of the world, they're just it's just tough. It's tough out there for them. And
Yeah.
what other style am I missing here?
I mean, I think Dash, just because like she's all about going fast, and like one of the faster beers you can make in a brewery is a hef. So like definitely like maybe a hef's like the
yeah.
fast beer.
Hef, yeah, that makes sense. And then also, who's the sour? I think you got to say Azalea's sour because she's sour that she sucks, I guess.
Yeah, probably that would work.
But I mean, not that sours are bad, but yeah, it's definitely not for everyone. I guess.
Or maybe Kano. Kano would be the sour because like it leaves a sour taste in people's mouth after you get destroyed by Kano.
Oh my God, yeah. It's not. I mean, the first couple times I played against Kano, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, and now that's about it. That's it.
Yep.
Now I'm cool with it. I remember the first time I played against Kano, I was playing KO.
Mhm.
I rolled a 6 on my Command and Conquer, coming in for 12 for more than enough damage, and I was also at 12, and he's like, all right, do a bunch of stuff, deal 12 to you. I'm like, okay.
Cool. That was great. Thanks.
Great. Yeah, awesome. Good luck the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are some. I think we hit all the main styles of beer there, though.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what is Czech style Pilsner your favorite style of beer?
Yeah, it always sort of has been the thing. Like if I had to like do a desert island beer, or the thing that I go back to and like I'm not sure what to get. Like I really like Saz. It's one of the hop varieties that like has always been my favorite. It's just really I just really like it. Like you have this nice union of malt and hops that for me that's just like there's so much nice expression in there that's like pleasant, and it's not like overly in your face like some of the IPAs are. Don't get me wrong, I definitely enjoy an IPA.
Yeah.
But it's always been my go-to, like kind of like forever now, I feel.
Nothing wrong with that. I love a Czech style pils. I'm a German style pils guy myself.
Sure.
I don't know if it's because I do drink a lot of Czech style pils, and I'll drink Pilsner Urquell every once in a while too.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing with Pilsner Urquell is you're like, oh, the diacetyl in this is, I guess, supposed to be here, right? Like you're like, I taste it, but like that's how it's supposed to taste. So you're just like, all right. So, but yeah, but this has been a great episode. I guess it's somewhat of a holiday episode. This will be coming out right before Christmas.
Yeah.
You have any last words to share with us? Holiday or Flesh and Blood and plug your stuff as well.
We'll start with the holiday stuff. Like, I guess the one thing I want to say is that I hope that if you're just starting in the game or you're seasoned into the game, like share this game with someone else. So like in the holiday spirit of like giving or whatever, like whether that be like you make a little like blitz deck for someone, or like you throw some precons at someone for a Christmas present or whatever. Share the game. As I mentioned before, like the community for this, whether it be content creators or actually just players, because again, the people you interact with, like at tournaments or on armories or whatever online, even it's generally they're all a good bunch of people. And so that would be like the holiday wish is like share the game with people. I think that if you love it, there's going to be other people who don't know about it who are going to love it too. So share the game with people. As far as like where to find me, so BrewTapCast is it's youtube.com/BrewTapCast, or Twitter @BrewTapCast. We used to do Twitch streams. Now we're just pretty much streaming on YouTube just because it's a little bit easier and it puts all the content in one area. I'm pretty sure we have a Facebook and an Instagram. I don't know how to use those, and frankly, I like Twitter and YouTube are enough for me to interact with the time I have, that like if it was to go to another outlet, I just wouldn't be able to like handle that, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, it's BrewTapCast on Twitter as well.
Yep. Yeah. @BrewTapCast. And then youtube.com/BrewTapCast. And I think that's all we have Discord. We have a Discord that we're still sort of soft. It's not soft launching. I just feel like that because like nobody's joining, but we're looking, we got the content appreciation kit from LSS over the fall/summer, and we got playmats and promos to give away. So I'm very much, once we hit like a critical mass, then we actually have enough people that'll want to play, we're gonna start giving away stuff during the tournament. We'll probably do a pre-con tournament, so it's like easy entry because like it's like a $12 deck. You can pick any of the pre-cons, and then we'll try to get that going very soon.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm in your Discord and you're in mine.
I sure am.
Yeah, and thank you again for coming on. It's been we've been chatting for a while now, and we've been enjoying each other's content, and I hope everybody has a great holiday. Stay safe, and share the game with someone. That's a great message, and if you don't already, follow me at FreshBudsPod on Twitter. You can find the show YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, and we have a Discord, which will be in my Linktree below, and we kind of just hang and we get some stuff going. I think tomorrow we're gonna do some sealed and stuff like that. Well, not tomorrow for you guys; it would have been last Sunday. So, but we're getting some Ultimate Pit Fight thing, I think, going in January at some point. So it's a good time over there. Everybody, be good and have a great weekend.
Yeah, cheers and happy holidays.
See ya.